Yo, it's Van City's finest, the A-L-I-T-E. It's Alite, y'all, and I'm on the grind with Valentine.
This is Starcore, and I'm on the grind with Valentine.
He is on his grind, interviewing all the time. Ain't gotta say the name, you know who is Valentine. Never know who you're gonna see him talking to, but you know they shine bright up in the interview. Lights, camera, action, ready for some passion. Man, cause he got what most of y'all lacking. Hacking, celebrities, go cracking. Everything goes in orderly fashion. So if you think it's your time to shine, baby, you better catch up with Valentine, baby. On the grind, TV on your mind. Tune in, let's see who's gonna shine next. Constant, on grind, grind with Alite.
Yo, this is On Da Grine TV, and I'm your host, Valentine. This is the show that's going to give you all the up-and-coming cats that are trying to make it to the next level. Then we sit down with all the cats who have made it, ask them how hard the grind has been for them. Man, hold on a minute. You know it's about to go down, y'all. On Da Grine TV with your man Valentine, baby. On today's show, we got a cat who's all about the beats for y'all, man. He makes up some, I don't know, the beats are going to be ill. My man Starcore's in the building. But up next, my dude, bringing you Vancouver's new anthem, Van City. My man Alite is in the house. You ready?
Let's do it.
You know what time it is, y'all. Let's get on the grind, baby.
Yo, Vancouver, stand up. Get your hands up, yeah. Van City, stand up, yeah. Like this one time, cause it's V-A-N-C-I-T-Y. Stand up, get into it, get your hands in the sky. O-N-B-O-I-N-T, collective, it's that A-L-I-T-E. Van City, on point. 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 Van City, yeah. Van City, like this, everybody hands up, this is not an illusion. It's what you should be tuned into, the movement. Placed among stars over continents, then zoomed into the 49 parallel, under the moon, staring up, looking up the tops of slanted roofs. So uncouth on this path through this journey of youth. In the city of Van, southeast, in these streets, green line, blue skies, and every corner more beat. But we be elite, derail conflicts, the heat. With the verbal and the herbal, they continue to be. In the here and now, the nightlight, the street shine, and watching east siders, and then drop tops ride, and do it 151 on them ones and twos. While the ALITE says 5 to the roof, and the moon calculated on the rise to these new found heights in the sky, looking back at the view, because it's V-A-N-C-I-T-Y. Stand up, get into it, get your hands in the sky. O-N-B-O-I-N-T, collective, it's that A-L-I-T-E. Van City, on point. 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 Van City, yeah. Van City, on point. Van City, on point. From every city, a barrio, street, town, a borough, all the way to avenues, boulevards, we thorough in our depictions and descriptions of home, whether they riddle with bullets or glowing glitter with gold. Pavements with diamond chains that hang so low that they scrape the asphalt, got them rocked in a row. The seaside beat you, Lambos on the drive, but it's being holographic to others on the wrong side of the fences. So we take offense and get defensive and rip our intersection like it's a Navy mention. East Van, South Van, West to the North. Sure we are otherwise was par for the course, so we off-road, no tracing tracks and stone off the beaten path. And I'm switching trying to blow, but I let you know wherever that ALI goes, my mind is prepped with every step trying to get that throne, because it's V-A-N-C-I-T-Y. Stand up, get into it, get your hands in the sky, yeah. O-N-P-O-I-N-T, collective, it's that A-L-I-T-E. Van City, on point. 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 It's the A-L-I-T-E, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the lyrical assassin, yeah. It's the lyrical assassin, yeah. It's the A-L-I-T-E, yeah. Van City, stand up, yeah, yeah. Van City, stand up, yeah, yeah. If you down with Van City, get your hands in the sky like this, yeah. Van City, on point. Van City, on point. Van City, on point. Van City, y'all. Van City, on point. Van City, y'all. Van City, on point. Van City, y'all. Peace.
We in the studio, my man. Alite.
Yeah.
Alite. What's going on? What's cracking, baby?
Not much. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate
Man,
the
you
exposure.
already
Appreciate
know.
the chance. Dope.
Van City's new anthem.
Yes, put Vancouver on the map.
There you go. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, man. But, I mean, why do a Van City song, though, man?
For me personally, I see a lot of rappers that get big and blow up, and
Yeah.
if your city doesn't have your back, no one's really gonna have your back.
Exactly.
So it keeps it authentic. You know, Vancouver has a lot of hip hop artists that don't get put on because their city just doesn't support them.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give Van City a reason to support their local artists.
There you go.
Yeah.
And, I mean, now, who are some of the artists that influence you coming up, though?
For me, it all started with R&B singers, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie. I started singing first. That was kind of my first love.
Yeah.
And then I just wasn't as good as the singers I wanted to be like. And then, you know, the first time I heard NWA say F the police, it changed my world. I didn't realize you could have so much impact with the written word.
Exactly.
So NWA sparked it for me, you know, and then obviously Tupac came in, and
Yep.
Tupac was like the one person that was authentic as a human being, as an artist. He just kind of lived what he was all the time. And
Yeah.
to me, that authenticity was so real. It's all I wanted to do afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's going to make all the Elite fans go out and cop this album, though, man?
I think there's a lot of different reasons. I think the number one thing is versatility.
Yeah.
I don't pigeonhole myself. You know, I don't say I'm this kind of rapper, that kind of rapper. For me, I'm just hip hop
Yeah.
and everything that encompasses hip hop. So for me, when people hear what I spit, what I put out, there's a lot of material that is genuine. I'm not a rapper trying to be somebody.
Right.
I'm not a rapper trying to be a drug dealer or trying to be a gangster or trying to be somebody. When you hear what you hear on my album and then you meet me in person, we're one of the same thing. So it's not an act for me.
Yeah.
For me, hip hop is what I am. So when you hear the authenticity, I think it's automatic. You're just gonna know what I spit is real and what just comes from the heart. And without that, you're not believable. And then you don't have support. You don't have real support. You kind of get that one-hit wonder drop, and
Yeah.
I'm not about that. So.
That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
Man. Now, coming up though, man, I mean, who right now in the game though that, I mean, best mirrors your style though?
I would say, you know, for me personally, I've taken a lot of influences in my life, and
Yeah.
I think that really helped contribute to my style. For me, number one person I can think of is Talib Kweli. I think what he does is really closely similar sounding to what I do. Obviously, Eminem is a huge influence
Yeah.
on what I've done. There's not a lot of new rap that I really like, that I really follow, that I think is important or relevant.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's Kendrick and J. Cole that do big things. But there's a lot of underground cats that people don't listen to, like Immortal Technique,
Yeah.
Jasiri X. A lot of guys that kind of go under the radar that really move me in a way that makes me want to make music like that.
Yeah.
Can't forget people like Outkast, you know, huge influences in my style. So you'll get a little bit of all that, but Vancouver's never really had a signature sound.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what makes hip hop good. I think what makes hip hop good is a sound that reaches everybody. So it's not a real regional flavor. I just want it to be, when people hear it, that's just hip hop.
That's
what
what I'm
they hear.
saying.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. Now, and this leads me to my next question, man, about creating your own identity.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And do that with the music and the rap?
Yeah, a lot of trial and error, a lot of messing with different styles. I freestyle a lot, I write a lot. So
Yeah.
to me, it's all about, you know, keeping my sword sharp and making sure that I'm at my best all the time. And yeah, it took a lot of, you know, getting on stage, throwing stuff out at the crowd, seeing what the reception was like. A lot of, you know, bouncing it off my wife. She's my hardest critic. You know, she hits me in the head and say, that's not good. That's not, you know, you can do better. So for me, it's I need that feedback and that criticism, because sometimes, you know, you get too many yes men in your corner. They're all like, yo, you're dope. Doesn't matter what you do, and you're really not. So for me, you need that honest criticism, and a lot of that really helped kind of mold my style, get rid of stuff I'm not good at, keep what I'm good at, and from there it just built up to where it's at right now.
just so y'all know, his wife does make sure that does happen.
Taskmaster.
The whip is on, I'm telling you. Now, I'm gonna get you on the grind question though, man.
Yeah.
And for all the cats that are out there, man, struggling,
Yeah.
they haven't put out an album.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do or where to go to get this happening.
Yeah.
What can you tell them to inspire them to stay on the grind, to be in your shoes someday?
The first thing I would say is be honest and be willing to say that you can do this or you can't.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of, they've done one show in front of all their homies and they get a lot of love, like, yo, I'm the best thing that ever happened to hip hop.
Yeah.
But to really want to kind of get your foot in the door, you gotta earn your stripes, man. You gotta do the battles. You gotta come up in a situation where people have challenged your authenticity and kind of come back from that. Because I started as a battle rapper.
Right.
So I did the freestyle battles, going up one-on-one against people you've never met, and in front of a crowd of people where nobody knows who you are,
Yeah.
and leaving with everybody yelling for you. That's kind of where you have to start. If you haven't gotten those stripes, if you haven't earned those stripes, you can't call yourself a rapper. Before you had to have, I don't want to call it a resume, but you kind of have to have a resume before you can get in the game.
Exactly.
And these days, you don't have to have a resume. Someone, I bought a gun, I'm a rapper now. That's not a rapper. There's a huge facade, and first you got to get rid of the facade. After you've done that, then you really have to write lyrics that are true to you.
Yeah.
If you've never held a gun, but you're rapping about guns, people will know, they'll see right through you.
Exactly.
And you'll disappear,
Right.
right? You can't rap about drug dealing if you never sold drugs before.
Exactly.
So once you get over who you don't want to be and start to figure out who you are, get a couple shows under your belt, get a couple battles, do it with your friends, battle your friends, get some real lyrical skill first, develop that before you can even do a show and call yourself a rapper.
Yeah.
Once you've overcome that obstacle, which is the hardest thing in the world, once you've overcome that, finding your authenticity, once you've done that, then from there, if you get a couple shows under your belt, you'll get some growth. But before that, not a rapper. You're not a rapper.
You heard that?
Yeah.
You heard that, right? Not a rapper.
No.
I know I can only rap gifts, so I'm okay with that.
Definitely.
Now, what is it going to take, though, man, for you to become the headliner instead of the opening act?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. That's probably the hardest thing to do for a lot of local cats. For me personally, I'm finally starting to see the fruits of my labor. I'm starting to feel a buzz. Now I can say I'm doing a show and people show up. There's no more shows with 4 or 5 people in the crowd. You gotta have that.
Yeah.
You might hate it, but you gotta have it.
But you'll still do it though, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, people are actually starting to say, yo, when's your next show? When's your next show? When can I see you? Where can I see you? People are actively asking for the music.
Right.
And for me, now I can start to feel that buzz, that feeling growing where people see me in the streets like, oh yeah, yo, I've seen you, you're dope. Now I can start to feel that. So for me, I don't want to ride anyone's coattails or get a cosign by somebody that doesn't really care for what I do as an artist. I want to kind of kick down the doors myself. And I'm starting to feel like that's getting there. I'm getting to that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the game is a emotional roller coaster,
Yes.
man. I mean, how do you deal with that up and down in the business, though?
For me, it's being true to who I am. A lot of support from the people around me.
Yeah.
They help keep me in check, make sure my head doesn't get too big. And the biggest thing for me is, and I stress this to every single person that's an artist, do shows. Do as many shows as you can. Be in front of people. Get out there. If you see someone drumming in the street, jump on and start freestyling. Do something. Stay active. Stay creative. Stay writing. If you stop doing that, then you're not taking it seriously enough to really pursue it. And there's going to be ups and downs. I've been writing since I was 17 years old. It's a long time. So for me, over a decade in the game, writing, growing, struggling. If it's not for you, you'll know in a couple years right away.
Exactly.
So if you can't put in the decade and struggle, you're not gonna make it.
Right.
Yeah.
The album's already out, right? What's it called?
Almost there.
And
the album's called Vanguard.
Where can we get
It's produced by DJ 151 that you had on the show a couple weeks back.
You already know.
It'll be in the streets hopefully in the next month, and then from there it's on.
Man.
Yeah.
And then what's next for you besides that?
Once the album drops, I do a political blog on the side called Disconnect, where I talk about real news and politics and stuff that doesn't get played on mainstream media. So that's really close to my heart. And besides that, once the album drops, start promoting, pushing the album, getting shows, and hopefully start to do some touring and blow up the buzz and get Van City where it's supposed to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I want to thank you for coming out, man.
Thank you, man. Definitely.
This is my thing.
Much appreciated.
Yo, this my dude, Alite. When the album comes out, make sure you go cop 1 million copies, man. Make sure my man goes platinum. You know how we do it. Next up, my man, Starcore's in the house.